Ladies and gentlemen, 2026 is not just another year on the calendar. It's a blank page, a fresh chapter in the story of your life. And how you start this chapter will define how it unfolds. Too many people drift into a new year thinking, I'll figure it out as I go. But life doesn't work that way. Success, fulfillment, and growth don't happen by accident. They are the result of intentional action, clear direction, and consistent effort. Before you step into 2026, ask yourself, where am I going? What do I want to achieve, and who do I need to become to reach that goal? Without answers to these questions, you are setting yourself up for a year of uncertainty, missed opportunities, and regrets. A plan isn't a rigid schedule, it's a compass. It gives you clarity when life gets messy. It gives you focus when distractions try to pull you off course. And it gives you the courage to say no to what doesn't serve your purpose and yes to what moves you forward. But here's the truth, having a plan is not enough. You must act. You must take small, consistent steps every day, because a plan without action is just a dream, and dreams don't pay bills, build relationships, or change the world. So as 2026 approaches, don't enter it unprepared. Decide what matters most. Set your priorities. Write down your goals, and take the first small step toward them today. Because the people who win are not the ones who hope for a better year. They are the ones who plan for it and then live it. Make 2026 the year you stop drifting and start building. Your future is waiting, but it won't wait forever. Clarity of purpose is the invisible engine that drives every meaningful action in life. Without it, even the most talented, hardworking, or ambitious person can feel lost, moving from task to task without real progress. Knowing where you are going before stepping into a new year is not just a luxury, it is a necessity. When you have a clear purpose, every decision you make, every action you take, and every obstacle you face has a direction. You no longer move aimlessly through days or wait for life to hand you opportunities. Instead, you become deliberate, intentional, and strategic. A clear purpose acts like a compass in the chaos of daily life, cutting through distractions, noise, and the endless pull of other people's agendas. It gives you a lens to view the choices in front of you, and the courage to ignore what doesn't align with your goals. Knowing your why is more than just knowing what you want to achieve. It is understanding why it matters, not just to you, but to the impact it creates in your life and the lives of those around you. It fuels perseverance when things get difficult because challenges are no longer random setbacks. They become tests that you are willing to endure to stay on your path. Without this clarity, even the best laid plans can crumble, because without knowing your destination, any path looks the same, and you can easily be sidetracked by urgent but unimportant tasks, societal expectations, or fleeting desires. People with a strong sense of purpose wake up each day with a sense of direction. They know the actions they take, no matter how small, contribute to a bigger picture. This clarity transforms ordinary routines into meaningful habits. Even setbacks are seen as stepping stones because they are framed within the larger context of the purpose. It is why some people seem unstoppable. They are guided by a purpose so clear that the world's noise barely registers. It is why others struggle, no matter how hard they work. Effort without clarity often feels exhausting, frustrating, and empty. Finding your purpose requires reflection and honesty. It asks you to confront what truly matters, what legacy you want to leave, and how you want to grow in the year ahead. It requires asking yourself difficult questions. Who do I want to become? What impact do I want to make? What am I willing to sacrifice to get there? Once you have answers to these questions, your actions gain momentum because they are anchored to something bigger than fleeting motivations or external pressures. Clarity of purpose doesn't mean knowing every step of the journey, but it means knowing the direction and being committed to moving forward. It means being able to measure your choices against a standard that is deeply meaningful to you. And most importantly, it transforms the experience of life itself, from wandering through a year in uncertainty to navigating it with intention, focus, and a sense of unstoppable progress. A plan is more than just a schedule or a to-do list. It is a compass that gives direction in a world full of uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, full of distractions, opportunities, and challenges that can easily pull you off course if you don't have a clear guide. When you enter a year without a plan, every decision becomes reactive, every day becomes chaotic, and every opportunity risks being wasted. A plan allows you to focus on what truly matters, to allocate your energy and resources toward the goals that will make the biggest difference in your life. It gives your intention shape, turning vague hopes into actionable steps. Without a plan, even your motivation can dissipate, because motivation alone is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind, but a plan remains steady, providing a framework to channel your energy consistently over time. Planning allows you to prioritize effectively. Life constantly throws competing demands at you: urgent emails, unexpected obligations, social pressures, or simply the endless stream of distractions from technology. Without a plan, everything feels equally important, and you end up exhausted, overwhelmed, and frustrated. But with a plan, you can clearly distinguish between what moves you forward and what only keeps you busy. You can say no to what doesn't align with your vision and yes to what advances your purpose. A plan also gives perspective. It allows you to step back and see the bigger picture instead of getting lost in immediate problems. It helps you anticipate obstacles, identify opportunities, and adjust your course without losing sight of your destination. This foresight is not just about efficiency, it is about empowerment. When you know where you're going and how to get there, you approach life with confidence instead of hesitation. Planning also transforms intention into action. Dreams without structure remain dreams. A plan bridges the gap between imagination and reality. It breaks overwhelming goals into manageable steps, turning mountains into a series of small, achievable climbs. Every task, every effort, becomes purposeful because it has a place in the roadmap toward your goals. Even setbacks become less threatening because a solid plan accounts for detours and recalibration. The plan acts as a reference point, reminding you of your priorities and keeping you grounded when distractions or challenges arise. Most importantly, a plan creates momentum. When you can see the progress you are making day by day, it fuels motivation and builds confidence. You begin to trust the process because you have a system, a guide that ensures your energy is not wasted and your time is not lost. Entering a new year without a plan is like sailing in open water without a compass. You might move, you might even drift in the right direction for a while, but the currents of life can easily take you far from your destination. A plan ensures that your journey is intentional, focused, and aligned with your purpose, giving every step meaning and every effort impact. Having goals is not enough. You can write down every dream you have, imagine every possibility, and set intentions with all the passion in the world. But without action, goals remain nothing more than wishes. Action is what separates those who talk about change from those who live it. It is not enough to hope, to plan, or to dream. You must move. Daily steps, no matter how small, are the engine that drives progress. Every successful person you admire, every achievement you respect, has one thing in common: action, taken consistently over time. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is rarely talent, luck, or even opportunity. It is persistence in action. Waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, or the perfect mindset is a trap. Life does not wait for you to feel ready. It moves forward whether you take a step or not. The truth is, action creates momentum. Every step you take, no matter how small, reinforces your belief in your ability to achieve. It turns abstract goals into tangible progress, builds confidence, and teaches lessons that no plan or intention ever could. Daily action also makes goals manageable. Large ambitions can feel overwhelming when we think of them as a single giant leap, but breaking them down into consistent, repeatable actions transforms them into achievable routines. Success is rarely a result of one massive effort. It is the cumulative effect of repeated action over days, weeks, and months. Another critical aspect is that action provides feedback. When you act, you learn what works, what doesn't, and where adjustments are needed. Intentions alone cannot teach you this. Action exposes reality. It shows you the obstacles, the opportunities, and the areas where growth is required. Without it, you remain in a state of illusion, believing that planning or dreaming is enough. Moreover, action inspires further action. Once you begin, motivation starts to rise. Progress is energizing, and taking one step naturally leads to the next. The key is consistency. It is better to take small, imperfect steps every day than to wait for perfection and end up stagnant. Action also builds resilience. Life will inevitably challenge you, but when you are accustomed to taking action, facing obstacles becomes part of the process rather than a reason to quit. Action creates habits, and habits create results. Every successful person knows that success is not a single moment, but the product of repeated efforts that accumulate into extraordinary outcomes. Without action, even the clearest goals remain fantasies, beautiful ideas that never leave the page. To make your intentions real, you must commit to action, embrace the discomfort of starting, and honor the small steps that compound into progress. Dreams only transform into reality when action becomes a daily habit, when every choice, every effort, and every decision moves you closer to the life you envision. Prioritizing what matters is one of the most powerful skills you can develop as you step into a new year. Life is full of demands, distractions, and endless options, all competing for your time, energy, and attention. Without a clear sense of priority, it is easy to drift from task to task, responding to the urgent rather than the important, and ultimately finding yourself exhausted, frustrated, and far from your goal. When you prioritize what truly matters, you make a deliberate choice to focus on actions that align with your vision and purpose. This requires courage because it means saying no to things that are tempting, convenient, or socially expected, but do not contribute to your progress. Saying no is not about being negative or unkind. It is about protecting your focus and reserving your energy for what moves you forward. Every distraction you allow into your life is a tiny decision that accumulates over time, pulling you away from your goals. Social media scrolling, gossip, unnecessary meetings, or constant multitasking may feel harmless in the moment, but they quietly erode the time and energy you could have invested in meaningful work. Prioritization is the skill of separating what is urgent from what is important, recognizing that not everything that demands your attention deserves it. It is about identifying the high-leverage actions that create the most impact and committing to them, even when it is uncomfortable or inconvenient. Prioritizing what matters also brings clarity and peace. When you know your top priorities, you stop feeling torn in every direction. Decisions become easier because you have a framework to evaluate choices. Does this move me closer to my goals, or is it a distraction? This framework reduces stress, increases confidence, and allows you to focus fully on the tasks that create results. Prioritization requires self-awareness. You must understand your goals, your values, and the outcomes you truly want to achieve. Without this understanding, every choice is equally appealing, and every distraction becomes tempting. But when your purpose is clear, prioritization becomes natural. You begin to instinctively filter out what does not matter and double down on what does. Over time, this skill compounds. The more you consistently prioritize, the more progress you make, and the more opportunities open up for you. Prioritizing what matters is not a one-time decision. It is a daily practice, a commitment to live intentionally rather than reactively. It is about protecting your time, energy, and focus as fiercely as you would protect your most valuable asset, because that is exactly what it is. Every choice to say no to a distraction and yes to what aligns with your goals is a vote for the life you want to create. In a world that constantly tries to pull you in multiple directions, prioritizing what matters is the compass that keeps you on course, the anchor that grounds your efforts, and the difference between a year of wasted effort and a year of meaningful achievement. Success is not built in a single day, nor is it the result of sudden, dramatic actions. It is the product of small, consistent steps taken over time, steps that may seem insignificant in the moment, but, when compounded, create extraordinary results. The principle of small steps compounding is simple yet profoundly powerful. Every action you take, no matter how tiny, has the potential to multiply into something far greater than you can imagine. Think of it like planting seeds. A single seed does not become a tree overnight, but with daily care, water, and sunlight, it gradually grows into something strong, resilient, and fruitful. In the same way, each small effort you put toward your goals builds momentum. Reading a few pages of a book each day, writing down ideas for 10 minutes, practicing a skill for half an hour, or making one intentional choice every morning may seem minor, but over weeks and months, these actions compound into mastery, knowledge, and progress that can transform your life. One of the most powerful aspects of small steps compounding is that it works even when progress feels invisible. In the early stages, the results may appear slow, and it is easy to get discouraged, but consistency is key. Just because you cannot immediately see the impact does not mean the effort is wasted. The most successful people understand that what they do repeatedly, not occasionally, shapes their future. Compounding works silently, quietly, and relentlessly for those who commit to it. It also teaches patience and discipline. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, waiting for results can feel uncomfortable. But small, consistent actions reinforce habits, build resilience, and cultivate a mindset that values steady progress over shortcuts or temporary gains. Each step taken today is an investment in your future. Small steps also reduce the feeling of overwhelm. Big goals can feel intimidating when viewed as a whole, but breaking them down into manageable, daily actions transforms them from mountains into climbable hills. You no longer have to wait for motivation or inspiration to strike. You simply start, and starting is often the hardest part. Over time, the compound effect is undeniable. What may have started as a tiny daily effort becomes skill, confidence, and momentum. It creates a trajectory that propels you forward, often faster than you expected. Moreover, small steps compound in every area of life, not just work or career. Relationships, health, finances, and personal growth all benefit from repeated, intentional effort. The key is consistency and direction. Small actions without focus or purpose do not compound meaningfully, but when each step aligns with your vision and goals, the impact grows exponentially. Understanding this principle changes how you approach every day. You begin to value progress over perfection, action over procrastination, and persistence over impatience. You realize that the path to long-term success is paved not by giant leaps, but by the small intentional steps you take consistently, day after day, until momentum carries you further than you ever thought possible. Taking responsibility is the cornerstone of creating a life that aligns with your goals and values. Too often, people enter a new year blaming circumstances, waiting for luck, or expecting someone else to create opportunities for them. The truth is, your year will be shaped not by what happens around you, but by the choices you make today. Every decision, no matter how small, carries weight. Choosing to act instead of waiting, to prioritize instead of procrastinating, and to face challenges instead of avoiding them determines the trajectory of your life. Responsibility is not about guilt or self-blame, it is about empowerment. When you take ownership of your actions, you acknowledge that you have the power to influence outcomes, to steer your life in the direction you desire. It means recognizing that excuses, distractions, and external factors do not control your future. Your decisions do. This mindset transforms how you approach challenges. Instead of complaining about obstacles or circumstances, you ask, "What can I do right now to move forward?" You stop waiting for the perfect conditions or for someone else to solve your problems. Responsibility also demands honesty. You must be willing to assess your life honestly, to see where you have fallen short, and to identify the patterns that have kept you from progress. This requires humility but also courage, because it is far easier to blame external factors than to confront the role you play in your own life. Yet, it is only through this honest self-reflection that meaningful change can occur. Taking responsibility also means recognizing that every action is a choice. Even when circumstances are difficult, you still have the ability to decide how to respond. The same situation can create failure in one person and growth in another, simply because of the choices they make. By owning your decisions, you reclaim control over your life and create momentum that propels you forward. Responsibility extends to consistency as well. It is the daily decisions, repeated over time, that determine whether a year is productive, meaningful, and successful. Choosing to invest time in your growth, to build relationships, to work toward your goals, and to care for your health compounds into a life that reflects your intentions. Excuses, distractions, and inaction, on the other hand, compound into stagnation, frustration, and regret. Taking responsibility is liberating because it places the power in your hands. No one else can live your life for you, and no one else can achieve your goals. The sooner you embrace this truth, the sooner you begin to live with intention and control. It also instills resilience. Life will challenge you, setbacks will occur, and plans will be disrupted. But when you take responsibility, you focus on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, and your response, rather than on what you cannot. This mindset transforms obstacles into opportunities for growth and setbacks into lessons that strengthen your resolve. Ultimately, taking responsibility ensures that your year is not left to chance, luck, or the whims of circumstance. It is shaped by the choices you make today, every day, and the commitment to own your life fully. When you take responsibility, you step into the driver's seat of your future, and every decision becomes an opportunity to create the life you want. So as you stand at the threshold of 2026, remember this: clarity of purpose gives you direction, a plan acts as your compass, consistent action turns goals into reality, prioritizing what matters protects your focus, small steps compound into extraordinary results, and taking responsibility puts the power squarely in your hands. This year will not shape itself. The life you want will not appear by chance. Every moment is an opportunity to decide, to act, and to move closer to the future you envision. Don't let another day slip away waiting for the perfect conditions, waiting for motivation, waiting for someone else to make it happen for you. Take ownership, make the choices that matter, start with one small step today, and let it lead to the next and the next. 2026 is not just a number on a calendar. It is your canvas. What story will you write? Will it be one of excuses, distractions, and missed opportunities? Or will it be a story of clarity, courage, and relentless pursuit of your goals? The power is in your hands. The only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is the choice to start and the commitment to keep moving forward. So step into 2026 with intention, with focus, and with responsibility. Your future is waiting, but it won't wait forever. Make it count. Make this year the year that your dreams stop being ideas and start becoming your reality.